Now, to a 3 News exclusive interview. We had the chance tonight to speak with Reverend Dr. Bernice King, the youngest child of civil rights icon Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott King. Many still remember her from a Pulitzer Prize-winning photo. Let's take a look at that. That was back in 1968 at her father's funeral. That is 5-year-old Bernice on her mother's lap. Dr. King was in Northeast Ohio tonight speaking to students at Kent State University. Afterward, I had the opportunity to get her thoughts on her parents' legacy and the death of Tyre Nichols. But first, I asked her what message does she want audiences to take away from every speech she gives.
Probably what my mother said, struggle is a never-ending process. Freedom is never really won. You earn it and win it in every generation. Because I don't want people to ever get to that place of apathy again. I think we spent too many years there holistically.
The world, of course, continues to mourn the death of Tyre Nichols. And tonight you spoke about law enforcement and the work that needs to be done there. There is no one answer, of course, but which direction should we be headed in at this point? What's a good way to start to change things?
You know, I don't know if I really have an answer. I'm still, thinking through all of this. I do think while we're looking at policy, I think we have to have a holistic approach. We got to deal with the trauma that's in communities over and over again when this happens. We just stack it on top and we just keep going, and the explosions that occur as a result of that. This stuff is real. We're not animals, we're not robots. We're human beings with a lot of emotions and feelings and experiences and all of that kind of stuff, and we owe it to ourselves to bring some humanity to all of this, and that's what's missing. The officers that did that the other day, they didn't see a human being.
I follow you on social media, and I can remember a few of your posts where you talked about people who look at your dad back in the 50s and 60s, and they assumed that he was beloved. You point out he was not beloved, that many people hated him. You say point blank, he was assassinated. He was saying things that people didn't want to hear. Why do you think it's important for you to give that perspective?
Because I think there's a false sense of the Martin Luther King we know today that is so iconic and revered, has always been that way. And I want to remind them, no, that's not the case. And part of it is, too, that he's not here in flesh to challenge us. So it's easier for us to revere him. But they need to understand that, because in this struggle where you're trying to do the right thing, he's a symbol of you're not going to be loved. There are going to be haters, real haters. You tell people all the time, don't forget my mom, a civil rights icon in her own right, the founder of the King Center. What do you want people to know about her strength? Oh, wow. My mother was unbreakable. She had such a very quiet strength. She wasn't loud. She was very dignified in the way that she carried herself, and very determined. She just continued to persevere because she had something in her that she knew she must do, and she believed it would happen. I don't know a lot of people like that.
Mrs. King died in 2006. You can see our entire interview with Bernice King at WKYC.com.